Jerome Powell, is going to really squelch this notion of a pivot. That means stronger dollar. That means higher yields, arguably. How problematic is that going to be for emerging markets in Asia?
I wouldn't just say in Asia. I think it's an issue that emerging market has been dealing, I would say now, probably for more than a year. You have to go back to probably the late summer of last year when the pressures and the talks about inflation, especially in the United States, were really starting to increase. And that was the first round when basically it was a given that interest rates were set to be going back up.
Yes.
And that was, you may remember, towards this time 1 year ago, we saw a big pressure on exchange rates across emerging markets. We saw it particularly in Asia in the case of Indonesia and in some cases. And since then, emerging markets have been at the forefront of rate increases, precisely because of that issue. Now, you were just talking about inflation, you were just talking about the pressures that are coming from food, energy. You can imagine that those countries that at the moment are going to see, or they already see, an increasing bill on imports, are trying to go to the international markets. Just now, cost of funding is going up. So you're having this double hit situation that makes things quite complicated for emerging markets.
It's interesting, Roberto, you mentioned Indonesia. Back in 2013, Indonesia and India were Asian representation in the Fragile Five. There is a sense that I'm getting that it's a very different situation now in terms of resiliency, in terms of reserves and contingencies. They are in a far better position, would you agree, than they were almost 10 years ago?
Yes. Well, in the case of India also, you have the component that India has a very strong domestic market, which is not the case that you see in Indonesia, where the domestic capital market is not that strong. As a matter of fact, compared with other countries in Southeast Asia, is definitely quite behind. And that's one of the reasons, because you constantly need to go and borrow abroad, and that puts you a little bit more of a threat. Having said that, that has improved over the last few years. And the key difference to me when I look at not just Asian emerging markets, when I look at emerging markets across the board, the key difference is the growth story behind those two credits. You still have a consistent print of strong growth that's coming, which underlines that there is a viable economic outlook in those places. Of course, they're suffering hits because they are part of the global economy. But if I compare with peers in Africa or in Latin America, you don't have that.
And just for the record, Roberto, the headline ratings and the outlook for Indonesia and India reflect that view?
They do. As a matter of fact, we had Indonesia during the pandemic with a negative outlook because we saw some fragilities coming in, especially on the fiscal side, and we brought it back to stable early this year, precisely for those reasons.
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.